Hello, this is Pleasantville School Superintendent Tony Aylesworth, and we are putting this video together so we can provide an update to any Pleasantville patrons who may or may not be able to attend the town hall meetings that we're hosting to learn more about questions regarding the Pleasantville Elementary bond referendum proposal. The reason we are proposing this addition to Pleasantville Elementary is because Pleasantville Community Schools seems to be bucking the trend in Iowa. Currently, the majority of Iowa schools are declining in student enrollment. Pleasantville is fortunate to be one of only a handful of non-suburban school districts in Iowa that continues to experience what I believe is the perfect kind of student enrollment growth, which is manageable and steady. With this in mind, the purpose of this presentation is to outline a proposed investment in Pleasantville's future. The objectives for this presentation and video are to describe the rationale and philosophical goals for this proposed bond referendum. We hope to share the facility's priorities, showcase the proposed design and facility plans, have a discussion on finances, taxes, and implications, share recent facility improvements and remodels at Pleasantville schools, and demonstrate and highlight the places to look for more information, as well as provide contact information for facilities and bond-related questions. When I was hired here at Pleasantville Schools almost 2.5 years ago, one of the directives from the school board at that time was to create a short-term and long-term vision and plan for improvement of our school facilities. As this work has progressed over the past 24 months, and particularly as it relates to the proposed elementary bond referendum, we came up with the following philosophical goals that have driven our work in this proposal. We hope to make Pleasantville school facilities comparable to our peer schools in Central Iowa. We want to end the cycle of short-term or Band-Aid projects and plan with long-term decisions in mind. And we hope, most importantly, to match the quality of our facilities with the high quality of education that we believe takes place inside of our schools. Why are we proposing this addition to our elementary? The 7 orange-colored bar graphs represent Pleasantville's total student enrollment over the past 7 years. As you can see, Pleasantville has experienced steady growth since the 2010 school year. The gray-colored bars represent Pleasantville's projected enrollment according to the Iowa Department of Education. As of Monday, August 22nd, we actually expect the enrollment at Pleasantville schools this year to be closer to 784 students as opposed to the 759 projected by the Iowa Department of Education. Another reason we are proposing this is because of the portable classrooms currently on site. The pictures of this screen are of 2 sets of portable classrooms that currently sit at Pleasantville Elementary. The photo on the left is of a more recent set of portables, which houses 3 sections of 5th grade, as well as 1 section of special education. These portables were purchased in 2012, and although they do have electricity, air conditioning, and heat, they do not have running water, they have no restrooms, and we believe provide a less than ideal condition for teaching and learning. The photo on the right is a picture of the portable on the northeast side of Pleasantville Elementary. We believe this portable was brought to Pleasantville in 1976, which would make it somewhere between 35 and 40 years old. This set of portables is currently only used for the before and after school program. However, it is in pretty rough shape at this time. We expect the newer portables, the photo on the left, may have some resale value if the bond referendum is successful. However, the older set of portables on the right would probably need to be demolished. Another reason we're proposing this is because of the parking situation at Pleasantville Elementary. The pavement of the current parking lot is in fairly poor shape, and by far the number one complaint I've heard since I came to Pleasantville is the lack of parking and bus and parent drop-off safety at Pleasantville Elementary. This proposal, I'm happy to say, will seek to expand parking and add multiple options for students to be dropped off in a safer, more efficient manner. So the 7 priorities of this proposed bond referendum include eliminating all of the portable classrooms currently at Pleasantville Elementary. We would seek to add space at the elementary school that would allow our sixth graders to leave the middle school and then come back to the elementary school where we think developmentally is most appropriate. This would also free up class space, which is needed at Pleasantville Middle School due to current overcrowding. Number 3, we would seek to revamp our bus and parent drop-off and pickup lanes at Pleasantville Elementary. Number 4, we would seek to add additional parking spaces. Number 5, we would seek to add a cafeteria space that does not negatively impact our elementary PE offerings, and I'll show you the plans for that here in a second. Number 6, we want to provide additional classroom space to accommodate current overcrowding as well as future student enrollment growth here in Pleasantville. And then 7, we seek to improve school security and the appearance of our schools with a modified entry and front office area. This slide shows that we currently have 3 sections at every grade level at Pleasantville Elementary, with the exception of first grade, second grade, and third grade. Another way of thinking about that would be to imagine that we have 3 teachers at each grade level, with the exception of first through third. Our current second grade class, you may notice, is a little smaller, and that's because they were the first group of students that was offered our transitional kindergarten program, or TK. We also know that we need additional sections additional teachers at first grade and third grade classes. However, we are unable to accommodate at this time because there's just no more space at Pleasantville Elementary. This slide highlights our student enrollment compared to other school districts with class size. As you can see, the 2 areas of concern I have are currently first and third grade, where I believe 27 students for every 1 teacher is far too high a ratio. The next few slides showcase the facilities additions proposed in this bond referendum proposal. The current photo is a site plan concept for the proposed parking lot and student drop-off improvements. This proposal would add an additional 20 to 30 parking spaces and a specific lane for buses to pull in off Jones Street to safely drop off students. It would also provide parents with 2 options to enter the school parking lot and drop their child off safely, either here behind the current buses or by pulling left here and dropping off onto this raised concrete with a crossing guard stationed here to make sure our children are able to cross the parking lot safely. The blue line represents approximately the current parking situation. So everything from the left of the blue line over is the current parking lot as is on site at Pleasantville Elementary. We believe this would be a much safer plan because the majority of our students would have no need to cross Jones Street as they have to do currently. These photos show the proposed addition and remodel to the elementary building itself. The photo on the left is an aerial view and is not drawn to scale. It's of the proposal that gives you perhaps a sense of where the areas of this addition might be. The photo on the right shows the specific floor plan that's being proposed. The floor plan includes 9 additional regular-sized classrooms on the north side of Pleasantville Elementary. The proposed addition would continue off the hallway that currently ends near Mrs. Worthington and Mrs. Novak's classroom and takes a 90-degree turn back to the east. This plan calls for the separation of the current elementary gym that also doubles as the cafeteria. Currently, it is impossible at Pleasantville Elementary to get enough physical activity and PE time because the gym doubles as the cafeteria for over 2 hours a day for lunch. After considering a lot of different options, we believe the right plan is to remodel the current elementary library and turn it into a cafeteria and common space. We would then take the current principal, nurse, and counselor's offices and remodel them into a new elementary library. We would also look to add 1 full-size kindergarten classroom and an office area onto the southeast side of the elementary building as shown. We like this plan because visitors would still be buzzed in to the school during the day, but would now be required to check in at the main elementary office before they would have access to the rest of the school building, which we believe is a safer and more secure setup than currently is in place. These photos are artist renderings of what the front of the elementary school might resemble. We would still be able to select paint colors and consider economical ways like canopies and banners shown in the example photo to spruce up the front entryway and provide more curb appeal to our school. This project would look to add 16,500 additional square footage to Pleasantville Elementary, as well as remodel an additional 3,685 square foot. We believe this space would alleviate our current overcrowding issues at Pleasantville Elementary as well as Pleasantville Middle School, and provide enough space to accommodate reasonable growth in the years to come. This visual showcases how and where the project objectives have been met through the facilities addition and remodel improvements proposed. We spent several months with a team of architects and engineers looking at different options and would submit to you that this plan is the most efficient and reasonable plan that accomplishes all of our goals. This table showcases the implications of the proposed bond referendum on a residential property or a housing property. To accomplish our facilities goals, we would propose to add an additional $2.55 to the current tax rate. This table shows 6 different scenarios based off different property assessed values. For instance, if your property has an assessed value of $75,000, your estimated annual increase in tax payment would be $94.02, or $7.85 per month increase. On the bottom of the table, you can also see a property assessed at $250,000 would have an estimated annual increase of $342.25, or $28.52 per month. One of the frequently asked questions we've gotten as we promoted this proposal is, how long does a bond referendum last? The proposed bond referendum for Pleasantville Elementary would last 20 years before expiration. This table shows the implications of this proposal on agricultural property. Like the previous residential example, this is based on a $2.55 increase to the current tax rate. This table shows 5 different scenarios based off different property assessed values. Ag property is a little more complicated to figure than residential or commercial. However, if your ag property had an assessed value of $1,062 per acre, which happened to be the average for Marion County in 2013, your estimated annual increase in tax payment would be $1.91 per acre. We also showed in this table an estimated example for a 40-acre farm, because that's the method the county assessor's office uses for their reporting purposes. As I mentioned, for residential property, this proposed bond would last for 20 years. Finally, this table shows the implications of the proposal on a commercial property in Pleasantville schools. Like the previous 2 examples, this scenario is based off of a $2.55 increase to the tax rate. The table shows 7 different scenarios for commercial property based off of different property assessed values. For example, if your commercial property had an assessed value of $100,000, your estimated annual increase in tax payment would be $229.50 per year, or $19.13 per month. This graph, although it may be hard to read, represents the school tax rate of neighboring or comparable sized school districts in the area. I know the print is small, but Pleasantville's rate and bar can be found on the far right side of this chart. As you can see, Pleasantville is not the highest and is also not the lowest tax rate around. Pleasantville's tax rate and tax base is largely comprised of residential and agricultural property taxes, and would benefit if we are able to generate more commercial businesses to offset tax burden from residents and landowners. The red line shown on the graph represents the target for what Pleasantville's school tax rate would be if the proposed bond referendum is successful in September. We would attempt to offset some of the proposed referendum increases by adjusting the school tax rate in other areas, such as the cash reserve levy, management levy, or special education levies. In Iowa, a school bond referendum vote requires 60% support for it to pass. As I've shared in some previous slides, the bond would span 20 years before its expiration or sunset. The vote date for this proposed addition and facilities improvement at the elementary school is September 13th. It will be held at the Memorial Hall, and the vote will be open all day from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. Absentee voting is allowed, and to obtain an absentee ballot, you must fill out an official absentee ballot request form from the Marion County Auditor's Office. You can also pick those forms up at Pleasantville's district office. The absentee ballot request forms must be submitted to Marion County Auditor's Jake Grandia's office with plenty of time for them to mail the ballot back to you and for you to mail that ballot or drop that ballot back off at Auditor Grandia's office. This is a sample of what the ballot should look like. To support the elementary bond proposal, you would fill in the yes box, and to vote in opposition to the proposal, you would fill in the no box. There are still 2 town hall style meetings that will take place regarding this bond referendum proposal. They're August 30th and September 6th, and both of those meetings will be in the high school library and start at 6 p.m. There are also less formal opportunities to learn about the proposal, and those are listed under the heading of Planned Community Engagement Activities. As I wrap up this video, I also wanted to assure Pleasantville patrons and voters that we not only have a vision and plan for facilities additions down the road, but also have plans underway to fix and maintain our current facilities. Over the past 3 years, we have undertaken several facilities improvement projects that may or may not be obviously visible to those outside of our school system. Last year, we installed safety systems that keep our school doors locked during the school day and require any visitor or student to buzz in at one of 4 locations, either at the elementary office, middle school office, high school office, or district office during the school day. This is an added safety feature for our students and employees. We've also implemented a multi-year brick tuck pointing project that is just wrapping, phase 2 is just wrapping up this summer with an additional 2 years of work remaining. You may have noticed the top 4 foot of the older 2-story portion of Pleasantville High School had to be wrapped with metal this summer due to the poor condition of the bricks. We believe this metal and the brickwork and the tuck pointing we've done will help alleviate some of the rainwater and moisture issues we've had over the past several years in that part of the building. Facility improvements have also taken place at our baseball stadium this past year. The previous dugouts, backstop, bleachers, and press box were all demolished, with new structures in place just in time for the start of the baseball season. We also replaced all of the older style light bulbs at Pleasantville High School and Middle School this past summer. This will not only serve us through better lighting, but also provide cost savings through utility company rebates and reduced utility consumption. This list is a quick glance at some additional, perhaps smaller facilities improvements being made at Pleasantville schools over the next couple years. We are nearly done with a site survey and architect drawings for a softball field improvement project very similar to what was done at baseball last season. In September, we will begin a multi-year roofing replacement cycle at all of our buildings in the district. As I said earlier, phases 3 and 4 of the brick improvement and tuck pointing project will continue next summer, with plans to begin exterior painting at PHS possibly as soon as next summer. Also, any broken, chipped, or settled concrete around the schools is another area we plan to address next summer. I've had quite a few community members let me know they have a desire to see improvements made to the track surface at Pleasantville Stadium. Currently, Pleasantville stands as one of only 3 schools our size or larger that does not have a multi-weather track surface. Preliminary discussions have started to consider plans to address the track surface and consider fundraising mechanisms to cover some of the costs for that potential project. Long range, as I point to the bottom of the page, we also know that the older 2-story portion of Pleasantville High School will not last forever. While we've made some facilities improvements to that area that should allow us to maximize usage of that building, our structural engineers tell us to expect approximately another 20 to 25 years before that portion of the building would either need to be significantly remodeled or taken offline altogether. I would stress that that proposal would be another 20 plus years down the road, but we want to assure Pleasantville patrons that we're working hard to consider options for both long-term and our short-term needs. Okay, that's about the end of this video presentation. Although I'll share the same presentation, I hope you might consider attending one of the community town hall forums for the elementary bond proposal on either August 30th or September 6th at 6 p.m. High School Library. You can also consider attending a different community engagement forum. However, there's also a wealth of information on the new Pleasantville School website, which is www.pvillecsd.org. We also have a very active district Facebook page with a lot of information regarding the facilities improvement projects. Additionally, you're always welcome to drop by my office, which is located just off the high school cafeteria and commons. Please feel free to call at the number listed below or email provided on the slides. I would thank you for taking time to review this video, and please stay in touch.